11.3, which is really just a continuation of domain and range from prior unit, but now we're going to throw in an exponential function. But let's go ahead and review a linear function and a quadratic function. So if you'll remember, your domain is all of your x values, which means it belongs to this x-axis, right? All of our x values on the x-axis, okay? And your range then would be all of your y values. And we are going to look at the y-axis, okay? And so remember that every single time that your domain is your x values, your range is your y values, okay? All right, and you can highlight it each time if you would like to. You don't need to. All right, let's take a look though at this first one. This is a linear function, right, where we just have this straight line, okay? But there's a lot of things that you have to take a look at. First, we're taking a look at the x values, so take a look at where we start and end on the x-axis, okay? Well, if I take a look here, I'm at -7, okay? So I start out at -7. Now notice what is happening here with that point. Is it open or closed? Closed. That means it could include that point. So it could be -7, right? Or it could be somewhere between -7 and, let's see what our other one is. It looks like it is at 6, +6. So again, notice this is a closed point, so it could include that 6. So your x is anywhere between or at -7 and +6. Okay, let's take a look at our range. And remember, your range is your y values. And so now I'm going to take a look at the y-axis. And again, I'm going to look at where I start. Here we go. Let's see where we start on that y-axis, -4. And again, it's closed, so it could be -4. And that means I'm going to put a little line underneath there, right? It's that or it's equal to that. And I'm looking at my y values. And it ends at +5. And again, it's a closed point, so it could include that 5, which is why we put that value there, that line under that value there. Okay, hopefully we kind of remember that from before. If not, we can talk about it. Just send me a message and let me know. Let's look at a quadratic function. Right off the bat, what do you already notice is different about the quadratic function? What has already changed? One, it's not a straight line, right? Now it's this curved line here, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight my y-axis. But it's a curved line now, and a lot of times when you see quadratic functions, they're going to be curved up, they could be curved down, okay? They're different. They're not a straight line, but it still works kind of the same way. But notice, instead of points, now I have these arrows. And what do these arrows tell me? What does that mean right there if you see arrows like that? It means that it keeps going on forever and ever. So the domain, or the x values, I don't know where it starts or where it ends because it keeps going on forever and ever. So your domain is all real numbers, which we could write as infinity, x, infinity, because it is all real numbers. It goes on and on forever, and I know that because it shows me on these arrows here. Okay, and our range is our what values? Our y values. So you're still going from top bottom to top, right? Well, we just said the bottom is going to go down forever and ever, and we don't know where it stops. So your bottom is also all real numbers. But there is definitely a top to your graph. And so take a look at that graph. Where is the top at? At 4. Now, there's not a point there, but the graph is closed because it stops and then it goes down the other way. So it is closed, so you're going to put a line under there because it's also equal to that point, 4. Okay? All right, now let's look at our new one, our exponential function. We've talked about linear, we've talked about quadratic. Let's look at our exponential function. First, I can already tell, well, that point's open, so it's not going to be included. This one goes on forever, okay? So when I look at my domain, I look at my x values, okay? -2. That's where it starts. But -2 is not included since that point is open, so we just put less than. Greater than x. And then, look at this. Where does it go? What does that arrow tell me? It goes on forever and ever. So there is no end in sight. So we just say infinity. And I can't include it because I don't have a specific number, so it's just open like that. Okay? Let's look at our y values, our range, our bottom to top. Well, the bottom starts where? At 1. Alright, so 1 is the start of our range, and it's not included again because that point is open. Okay, greater than, and then we're looking at our y values. And then again, what does it tell us? That arrow, what does it say? It goes on forever and ever and ever. So do I know what the top is? I don't. I just know that it could go on forever, and so it's all real numbers. And now you have found your domain and range for an exponential function. We're going to do one more together, and then you're going to do one on your own. Let's go take a look here. We're going to take a look at example 2 together, and then I want you to try example 1 on your own. Okay, so I should see it in your notes. I should see all of these in your notes, but that one you're going to do on your own, actually. Actually, I lied. I think we might do that one together. I lied. We're going to do that one together. We're going to do example 1 together, and you're going to do example 2 on your own. Sorry. That's my bad. But I like example 1. I think we're going to do that one together. So, remember, you need your domain, okay, or your x values. You need your range, or your y values. Okay, and if you'll remember from above, your x values on this x-axis, that's your left to right. Your y values are bottom to top, your y-axis there. Okay, so let's start with domain. Let's start with those x values. We start from the left side at -5. The point is open or closed? Closed, right? It's filled out. It's all black. It's filled out. So that means the rest will be greater than that number or that number exactly. Okay, because it's included. And I'm looking at my x values. Okay. Then I go all the way to the right. See where it stops at the right. And it is at +3. But notice my point is no longer filled in. So x could be less than 3, but it couldn't be 3 because 3 is not included. But our full domain is -5 to +3. Okay, let's try our y values from bottom to top. Let's see where the bottom is. It's at 1, and it's included, so your points could be greater than or equal to 1. Okay, and then all the way to 6. But 6 is not included, so your points would be less than 6, but not at 6. And there you go. There's your range. You are going to try example 2 on your own, and I will see you for notes 11.4.